There we go. Hey, what's going on? Charles Austin here, and let's be fit forever. Today I wanted to start as I wait a minute. There we go. As excuse me. So today I wanted to start a new, kind of like a new thing, because I over the last few weeks I actually was watching a little bit more TV. I think this light is a little bright for me. Let me turn this down. I think that's a little better. Sorry about that, y'all. I think that's a little better. But as I was saying, recently I've been watching a little bit more television than normally, and I've been seeing all these commercials that are on, uh, different programs, and they're about various health topics. Sometimes they're talking about weight loss, they're talking about diabetes, they're talking about some type of new medication, or they're talking about cancer or something else related to the health and fitness or something like that. So as I'm going through and I'm watching these commercials, I'm like, man, some of this stuff is really good information, and then some of this stuff, I don't know if it's the best information. So just kind of depending on the ones that I see, I created a nice little playlist, and I said, you know what, I'm going to start breaking these commercials down. We'll get to that in just a second. But as always, first and foremost, if you are liking the content provided on the channel, please make sure that you are subscribing to the channel. You're turning your notifications on so that you're always up to date with the latest content here on the channel. We're always giving the best, greatest, and latest health and fitness and nutrition education. This is going to be your number one source for health, fitness, nutrition, education. All right. Make sure you like this video, share this video out to everybody else so that they can enjoy the wealth as well. Okay. But first up, I got my first commercial breakdown where I saw this one the other day where they were talking about standing up to cancer. And I think this one actually turned out pretty good. So I'm going to let the first part of it play, and then I'm going to kind of explain a couple of items here so it can make sense. So when you see these commercials, you can be like, oh, so that's what they're talking about. All right. So here we go. Let's start, and I'll press play here for just a second.
James Brown and Bill Cowher welcoming you back to Dennis Melvin's house. It's time for the Midnight Snack Run.
This is one tricky obstacle course. Sticking to healthy habits in this kitchen is going to take focus and determination.
He's already entered the snack part of the course, and he's eyeballing a jar of chocolatey candy.
That is tempting right off the start.
He's reaching, Bill, but he pushes it away.
Great stiff arm.
He's approaching a plate of...
All right, so right off the bat, we have a situation where the guy in the commercial had an opportunity to get some. Oh, where was it? I just missed it. He had an opportunity to get. I missed it again. What am I doing? Yeah. Anyway, he had an opportunity to get some candy, right? And he pushed it away, and they're like, "Oh, great job! That's a wonderful stiff arm," and all that good stuff. Well, why the heck is candy such a bad thing when it comes to cancer, preventing cancer? If you're somebody unfortunately already suffering from cancer, why is this something that you should not be consuming? Processed sugar, right? So what it kind of boils down to at the end of the day is really this thing called insulin resistance, right? And if you're new to the term, I'll give you a brief, quick little overview, right? So basically, because there's a lot of stuff here, there's only a couple of things on the page that I actually want to highlight here in just a second. But basically, when you take in sugar, right? And it doesn't matter if it comes from an orange or if it comes from some type of candy, right? But when you take in sugar into your body, your blood sugar rises, right? So basically, the sugar that's in your blood rises, the levels go up, okay? And what this does is it signals your pancreas to secrete this hormone called insulin. And this hormone called insulin helps regulate and balance out blood sugar, okay? But unfortunately, sometimes our lifestyle choices, our behaviors can cause our pancreas not to perform as well with regulating blood sugar with the insulin, and then we can have this thing called insulin resistance. And that's the basic elementary kindergarten level explanation, so you can have an idea, right? So again, as it kind of says right in here, all carbohydrates you eat are broken down into simple sugars into the intestine, right? So like we were just saying a second ago, it doesn't matter if you get it from an orange or candy, where they're absorbed into the blood, increasing the blood sugar level. So again, once you eat, your blood sugar levels go up. The pancreas releases insulin in response, which travels throughout the bloodstream and performs several important jobs, including telling glucose to enter your cells. All right. So one of the things that happens is once you eat this food, sugar goes up and insulin says, hey, it's time for the cells, the small parts of our body, the tiny things that make up our body. It's time for the glucose to go into cells because, of course, just like every other part of our body, cells need glucose for energy. OK, so as it says here, continuing on, every cell communicates with the rest of your body through chemical signals that connect with receptors, yada, yada, yada. I don't want to get too sciencey on y'all. OK, now. When insulin levels are high, okay, and this is when we have a lot of sugar in our system, a lot of glucose. All right, so the more we put glucose and sugar and things into our body, all right, the more our insulin levels are going to rise, right? So when insulin levels are high, it is a signal that the body signal to the body that there's plenty of food available and that there is bonus calories that should be used to grow and build reserves for future lean times. What they're talking about here is basically storing fat. Okay. Now, so as we go on, so here's where it gets good. So again, we're going back to the commercial. If you lost anything I've been talking about here, in the very beginning of the commercial, the first thing he did is stiff arm the candy. So we're explaining why in the world is candy bad for promoting cancer, and why is it something that if you are suffering from cancer, hey, probably something you're going to want to avoid. All right. So eating a lot of simple carbohydrates, and the candy in the video in the commercial would classify as a simple carbohydrate. All right. So eating a lot of simple carbohydrates at once can raise insulin levels quickly. High insulin levels can lead to a rapid fall in blood sugar and a sort of rebound effect. Low blood sugar levels then signal the body that it's low on fuel. So basically what happens is you have a sharp rise in blood sugar and then a sharp fall. And so now your body is actually thinking, ooh, I'm hungry again. And this is why eating processed foods, chips and candy and soda, it never satisfies you. Okay, and we'll save that topic for another day, but it's never going to satisfy you. And this is why. Sharp blood sugar spike, sharp blood sugars fall. Now you're hungry again. Okay, so what happens is this triggers appetite, making you eat again, making you want to eat again, encourage you to eat again. Literally just said that, right? To bring blood sugars back up while the levels are bottoming out. People are hungry, irritable, and prone to overeating. This can become a vicious cycle over time. Okay, now we're trying to get to this whole insulin resistance thing. Okay, so what does this do? When you do this over and over and over again, your pancreas suffers and your cells suffer, and then they start to develop this thing called insulin resistance, right? So cells that are resistant to insulin, to the insulin message, are slower to bring sugar into the cell. Blood sugars stay higher longer, and the body responds by making even more insulin. This is the problem. This is basically the insulin resistance situation that we're talking about. Now, as we scroll down a little bit more, where the question literally says, hey, does insulin resistance and diabetes affect cancer risk and prognosis? Okay, so again, we've explained the basics of insulin resistance. Long story short, prolonged consumption of simple sugars, too much sugar, refined sugars, etc., can result in this thing called insulin resistance. All right. And what is interesting is that this article is reporting that diabetes and cancer occur together. Okay. So somebody who is diabetic, who's going to have issues with insulin resistance. Okay. And this is more focused on type 2 diabetes. Okay. But diabetes and cancer occur more often than would it be expected by chance alone. Health experts haven't yet figured out all the ins and outs of the relationship between these two diseases, though many researchers are studying, right? According to the consensus report on diabetes and cancer, it remains unclear whether the association between diabetes and cancer is direct, whether diabetes is a marker for underlying biologic factors that alter cancer risk, or whether the association between cancer and diabetes is indirect or due to common risk factors such as obesity, okay? So what they're doing is they're saying, we're starting to notice that, somebody is diabetic, and then also the cancer diagnosis is following that too. I wonder, does this have anything to do with our cells and their inability to take in energy the right way? And then also you see this last thing down here, insulin resistance is also highly associated with obesity as well, which is another risk factor for cancer, okay? So real quick, another thing about sugar and its role in cancer, right? So this article here is kind of focusing on the weight gain a little bit more than the diabetes aspect, right? So one of the ways excess weight can lead to cancer is through insulin resistance and insulin-like growth factors in the blood. Both excess weight and lack of physical activity can lead into an increased risk of insulin resistance. So again, this is just providing more information about, hey, insulin resistance. What is it about insulin resistance that is resulting in more and more risk for cancer? Okay, so again, it's going to deal with the problem with your cells being able to uptake this energy properly, because your cells need the right amount of glucose to function. If they're not functioning properly, now we have a problem. Now, if you're not exactly sure what this have to do with cancer all the way, please pause this video right now. I provided a link to my video where I explain the basics of cancer in the description of this video. So click that link, check that video out. It's my part 1. I'm waiting to make part 2. I haven't gotten to it yet, but part 1 on what is cancer, you can click that one right now, and then you can come right back to this one, right? So moving on, let's go back to the video. So again, we've already seen him stiff arm the candy, and we've kind of explained why candy is not the best idea when you're dealing with cancer. Let's go to the next one here.
Stiff arm.
He's approaching a plate of delicious-looking iced cookies.
Oh, Dennis, you only want one of those?
He blows right by him for the apple.
The fridge, it's...
So in this last little clip right in here, what he did is instead of getting the cookies, he reached for the apple. So what's the deal about, again, choosing a fruit over sugar? We already talked about, because this here right here, the sugar and all this, the cookies and all, that's the same thing we just talked about. But what about making a better choice? What is the good thing about fruits and vegetables, right? One of the fruits and vegetables, and again, this isn't going to be specific in the video right here.
Blows right by him.
He grabbed an apple, right? I wonder if I could get that right on time. I don't know. Yeah, there we go. That's a perfect screenshot. He grabbed an apple in this particular one, right? But we're really going to be talking about basically fruits and vegetables as a whole, because one of the things I teach my clients is, hey, if it's a fruit or a vegetable, eat it. Okay, don't overthink fruits and vegetables, right? So anyway, real quick. So fruits and vegetables are important for health and should be a major part of daily diet. Everybody knows that, right? They're a great source of fiber, vitamins, and minerals. All right. Where is it at? Where is it? Oh, all right. So fruit and vegetables also contain natural substances such as antioxidants, okay, which we'll talk about in just a second, that have cancer protective effects. Okay, so fruit and vegetables may protect against cancer of the bowel, mouth, throat, stomach, etc., etc., etc. So keep in mind that cancer doesn't just, cancer, wherever cancer is, that's what it's called, right? If the cancer cells are in your throat, they call it throat cancer. If the cancer cells are in your brain, they call it brain cancer. It just depends on where it is. So even though they gave you a list, that isn't a complete list. It's basically saying, hey, we can help prevent cancer if we are eating the right types of fruits and vegetables all the time, okay? So what are these things called antioxidants, all right? I'm going to do that one in just a second. Now, before we get there, let me tell you about another thing called phytochemicals, right? Where is that word at? Phytochemicals, all right? So if you're not sure what those are, let me tell you what they are, okay? So phytochemicals are chemicals found in plants. Nowhere on there does it say, hey, these are found in meat. They're not found. These are found in cheese and dairy. No, 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 no. That's not what we're talking about. So phytochemicals are chemicals that are found in plants that protect plants themselves against bacteria, viruses, and fungi. Right. So if you eat large amounts of brightly colored fruits, vegetables, whole grains, things like that, containing phytochemicals, you may decrease the risk of developing certain cancers. Oh my gosh. So again, the phytochemicals are in the fruits and vegetables specifically to protect them, okay, from the viruses and disease and bacteria and all these different things that can harm them, okay? So if you ingest these same things, they can help fight disease for you too, all right? So the action of phytochemicals varies by color and the type of food. So this is why they're always talking about, hey, make sure that you're eating different colors, right? Keep them bright or dark, right? Now, at the end of the day, you're going to want to make sure you're eating whatever fruits and vegetables you like and mix it up every now and again, okay? But this is what they're talking about. The phytochemicals are going to vary depending on the color, okay? Now, the action of, I already said that part. So these phytochemicals may act as antioxidants or nutrient protectors or prevent carcinogens. Okay, so carcinogens are things that basically cause cancer. So again, we just talked about the fact that we know fruits and vegetables have these things called antioxidants. They also have these things called phytochemicals that can act as antioxidants, right? Which prevent cancer. So what the heck are antioxidants, right? Antioxidants are basically molecules that fight free radicals. What the heck are free radicals, okay? Well, free radicals are compounds that can cause harm in your body if their levels become too high. And they're linked to multiple illnesses, including diabetes. There's that one again that we talked about. The link between diabetes and cancer. That's probably going to be something I'm going to start researching and make a video about. But again, heart disease, and then there's that one, cancer. So your body has its own antioxidant defenses to keep free radicals in check. However, antioxidants are found in food, especially, okay, here we go again. Antioxidants are also found in food, especially fruits, vegetables, and other plant-based whole foods. And whenever you see the word whole foods, we're talking about fresh or fresh frozen, minimally processed fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, grains, beans, all that kind of stuff. We're talking about plant foods, all right? So again, that's why in the commercial, he's saying, great job on the apple, but why? Well, I just explained why. All right, just a little bit more, and we're going to wrap this one up. Let's let it play.
Right by him for the apple.
The fridge, it's make or break time, JB.
He stares down some rich-looking treats. Uh-oh, looks like he's headed for the soda.
All right, and this is when we really get weak sometimes, right? You see, look at what's in the refrigerator already. All right, this is way too much soda. There's no reason why anybody should have that much soda in their refrigerator at any time, right? Unless you're throwing a party or you got family over or something like that. That's the only time you should have that much soda in your refrigerator, okay? And then look what's next. Oh, enemy number one. Oh my gosh. Whole milk. If there's anything that you should never have in your refrigerator, it's going to be whole milk. If you don't believe me, check out any of my videos that I've made in my Dairy is Death series. You can check it out when you find the, check out the playlist, Dairy is Death. You can find it on my playlist page, all right? Let me let this continue to play and see what he does. Is he going to choose the soda? Who knows?
Wait, he jukes left, grabs the water bottle, and shuts the door with his elbow.
I gotta see that again.
Great move.
Now he's just gotta get out of there.
Look.
Oops, there we go. All right, real quick before we wrap up, you saw a second ago, instead of picking the soda, he grabbed the water instead. So what in the world is the benefit of choosing something other than soda, right? So first things first, real quick, choosing things other than soda, right? So 6 drinks that actually help fight cancer, okay? So again, we're talking about not choosing soda. Not choosing Gatorade or some sports drink or something that's a sugary beverage, right? 6 drinks that actually fight cancer. One of them might be coffee. You know, hey, if you're not a coffee drinker, no big deal. But there are actually antioxidant phytochemicals, which we've already learned about, right? You can say, hey, after watching this video, I know what antioxidants and phytochemicals are, right? So coffee does have some of that. I would suggest that if you do drink coffee, drink it without adding all the cream and sugar, because what is cream and sugar? You're adding more cancer risk. All right, so you're basically negating the benefit of the coffee by adding cream and sugar, because now you're adding sugar, which we talked about insulin resistance, and dairy, which is a cancer promoter. Okay. Green, black, and white teas. Basically, if it's tea, drink it. No big deal. And we're talking about tea that actually comes from that plant. I wonder if they have it on this one here. No, but we're talking about green tea, black teas, things like that. Herbal teas can be a little bit different with a lot of extra processed ingredients, but we're talking about basic teas, right? Vegetable juices. And the key thing here is make sure they're 100%. No added sugar, okay? If the label doesn't say 100%, then it's not 100%. All right, 100% fruit juices, same thing. There's nothing wrong with having this occasionally. Orange juice, cranberry juice, grapefruit, whatever. It has to be 100%, basically meaning that you took the fruit, you squeezed it into a cup, and you drank it. Nothing wrong with that in small quantities. That's exactly what it says right here. Because again, it's still a high glycemic index food, which makes your blood sugar go up a little bit too quickly. All right. Again, we talked about herbal teas a second ago. Just make sure you check the ingredients. It depends on what kind of tea it actually is. Okay. And red wine, again, this is in moderation. If you don't like alcohol, drink grape juice is basically what that is anyway. Okay. So one more thing. We talked about the fact that he just chose water over soda. Well, what are the benefits of drinking water in fighting cancer, right? So water is one of the most important nutrients. Water is one of the most important nutrients in detoxifying your body and preventing cancer. All right. This liquid is a foundational component to your body's cells, providing nourishment to your whole body. So again, we talked about insulin resistance already with the fact that there is issues with your cells functioning and actually absorbing the right nutrients, specifically glucose. Now we're talking about helping your cells be more healthy. And the biggest thing about water is its detoxifying principles. It makes you pee and poop. And what's in pee and poop? Toxins. So if you're getting rid of those things regularly, it's another way to clear your body. All right. I'll go ahead and let the commercial play on out, and then we're going to wrap this one up, y'all.
Great move.
Now he's just got to get out of there.
Look what dropped from the sky.
Don't do it, Dennis.
Bill, he somehow keeps moving.
That's the way you execute a midnight snack run.
Stand Up to Cancer and Rally want you to reduce your risk for cancer.
Go to takeahealthystand.org.
And just to wrap up, I love the fact that they said we want you to stand up to cancer and reduce your risk. That is the coolest. This is one of the best commercials I've seen on air, almost like in my life, because the point is they're not talking about cancer treatment. They're not talking about what type of chemo is best for cancer. It's not talking about cancer screenings and how often you should go to the doctor for screenings. They're literally talking about making simple, small changes to your everyday lifestyle and how it can actually benefit you in reducing your risk for cancer. So you saw it in the commercial, and I broke down exactly what they meant. Whoo! I think that was a pretty good stream, all right? So, hey, at this time, at the end of streams, I always like to open it up for Q&A. So while we're opening it up, we'll see if we got any questions rolling in. But as always, remember, go to fitnesscharles.com. That's FITNESSCHARLES. Fitnesscharles.com. You'll get to a page. It'll open up just like this. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. If you're not subscribed already, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter right there. All Fitness Charles. Okay. Don't forget that you can always check out my 3 times the burn fitness challenge, which gives you 60 days of total body workouts to help you burn fat and lose weight. You can try 2 weeks for free just by clicking here. All right. Now, also make sure that you're well aware that if you need to speak with me a little bit in more detail about something that's going on with you, whether it's dealing with weight loss, chronic disease, or anything that might be sports specific, I can speak with you one-on-one in a consultation, all right? My hours and availability are right there on the page, y'all. All you got to do is check them out. And then also, There's a little form for you to fill out. There's instructions everywhere. I'm not going to go everything on there. It gives you the rates. There's no questions. I'm not trying to hide anything, y'all. It's right there. I'm not going to try to skim, speed past this and stream by like you hear on the commercials. You ever hear those commercials where they go, and you're like, I don't know what they said. No, mine's right there. Okay. So again, alternative payment opportunities as well. Here on fitnesscharles.com. So I have no questions. Last little thing, in the description of this video, you will also see much of this same information explaining exactly how you can try my 3 times to burn challenge for free, explaining how consults work, etc., etc., etc. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here today. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I'm going to do many more. So every time I see a commercial, I'm going to save it to my playlist. All right. And I'm going to share and break it down with you. If you have any commercials that you've seen, you're like, hey, can you break this down? Send them to me. I haven't seen anybody doing this. I'm the first one, I think, that is actually breaking down health, fitness, nutrition commercials. All right. So don't tell anybody. Keep that for me. I'm the one. I'm the original. All right. But as always, like this video, subscribe to the channel, turn your notifications on, share this video out. And as always, be happy, be healthy, and be fit forever. I'll see y'all next time.